No camera this week. We're just jumping into this shit. I almost won and secured myself a place in the playoffs instead. Well, let's just watch what happened. Jameis Winston. Touchdown number 1 to the Denver Broncos, that is. Oh, God, that was beautiful to watch live. But that's not all. We're getting the full Jameis Winston experience tonight, 32-34. 2 minutes left. And oh my gosh, nobody touches McMillan. He gets up. He's been having a rough few weeks too. Great job by him. Now, this is the play that I almost won the game. If I had started Terry McLaurin this week and the Cleveland Browns score here, even if they didn't score here, I'm behind. They score here, Denver loses 3 points, I lose. But instead, this happens. That interception would have won me the game if I had started Terry. But oh my gosh, if Judy doesn't pull off that horse collar, I win the game outright. Instead, here I am at the bottom of Division 3 once again, playing for my season life this week against Achilles Heel, who has already clinched a playoff spot. Now, she is playing for a division championship. If she wins and underdog anchor champ loses. In Division 2, H-Hand and the Membrane has already secured the Division 2 championship. That happened before the divisional round even started. Return of the King, not technically eliminated, but would need to score about 200 points more than all of the other 6 and 7 teams, should any of them win, and if any of the 7 and 6 teams lose. Katie over TDs has won the Division 1 championship. He has clinched it. And if he wins this week, he has clinched a bye week along with H-Chan in the Membrane. So still a lot to play for against the Troy Polamalu squad. That is looking a little bit weak. But let's get into the matchups, and we'll talk about some of the full playoff scenarios for the people that are still on the bubble here in Week 14, Divisional Championship weekend. Starting with one of the more straightforward scenarios, Katie over TD is against Troy Polamalu. Troy is eliminated. He is hoping to avoid relegation. There is a slim chance that 666 could overtake him should he score absolutely no points this week. And if 666 has a major week, but it is unlikely. Katie over TD's playing for a bye week. If he gets a win, he's in no matter what. And he is obviously a strong favorite coming into this one. Next, we got Return of the King against H-Chan in the Membrane. Stinks for Return of the King that this matchup came in the last week of the season, but silver lining is he was probably eliminated this week no matter what anyways. Even with a win, as I said before, he'd need about 200 points more than myself and Cup this Chubb, and that just doesn't seem all that likely, especially with the lineup that he's bringing to this matchup. Braylon Allen and Tyjae Spears both getting the start in this one. Ugh, rough sledding. But we'll see you in the toilet bowl, my friend. We'll see you in the toilet bowl. Then we got a doozy of a matchup. Underdog Anchor Champ against Otto Pickens. This is a massive game. Underdog Anchor Champ with a win does not guarantee himself the divisional matchup, does not guarantee himself the bye week. But there is a chance if Katie over TDs loses, Underdog Anchor Champ wins, and Achilles Heel loses, Underdog Anchor Champ would win the divisional title and a bye week out of Week 15. Otto Pickens, on the other hand, much more straightforward. Win and you're in, lose and you're dead. Lose and you're dead. Does not have a chance of winning the conference championships at this point. I actually there is a small yes. If he wins and Achilles heel loses, then I think he might be able to go through on points for. In fact, I'm pretty sure he does. So still everything to play for Auto Pickens, but the stakes for a loss are the highest of any of these any of the top 5. I mean, he is in 5th place, but with a loss, he is out of the playoffs. With a win by either Cup This Chubb or by myself, Believer. Starts tonight with Jamison Williams. You know, this was a little bit of a bubble start, but with so many injuries, question marks between Mike Evans and Malik Neighbors. Uh, yeah, those two. Between the injuries to Malik Neighbors and Mike Evans raising a question mark, seems like Jamison Williams is going to have to start just to make sure that he locks in somebody getting a start on this roster. Feels dicey. Jerry Jeudy just had that massive week. Is it likely he follows it up against the Pittsburgh Steelers? I don't think so. But Jameis Winston seems to really like Jeudy, so maybe he'll continue that forward. Devontae Adams with a tough outing against the Miami Dolphins. I can understand the bench here, but he is the highest projected wide receiver of all the people that Will is choosing between. So we'll have to see how that goes. Action starts here in about an hour and a half. Probably about an hour by the time this video comes out. Then we got myself against Achilles heel. My entire season coming down to the line on this one. With a win, and with a win by me, I would not actually guarantee myself in the playoffs. I need a win from either Cup This Chubb or Underdog Anchor Champ. Both of them win, then I'm in with a win no matter what. If only Cup This Chubb wins, I have to score more points than him in my win in order to get the playoff berth. I'm ahead of him by just a hair. I actually took the lead off of that goal line interception, incredibly enough. So I do have the narrow lead right now, but I'm essentially playing 2 games this week, one against Achilles heel and one against Cup This Chubb. But that second game won't be relevant if Underdog Anchor Champ can get the win, because then all 3 of us could go to the playoffs. Pretty incredible stuff. Not looking great in the injury department, though, is it? Tyreek Hill with that wrist injury that's been going on all year. Kenneth Walker got a new injury that popped up, I think a calf injury or something like that. Ladd McConkey had that phantom knee injury at the end of last game. Jamar Chase is brand spanking new. Oh, great. An ankle injury. Wonderful. Did he actually practice? I just saw it and kind of blacked out for a second. Unclear if it came from the contest or if it came from Thursday's practice. Well, isn't that just wonderful? So now I might not have Jamar Chase. Well, what do I do then? I guess I got to start Keon Coleman, who's also possibly injured. On the other side, Jalen Hurts, Garrett Wilson, Amari Cooper, Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard. My God. Oh, this Jonnu Smith versus Tua and Tyreek. This is scaring me. And then at the same time, Tony Pollard against Will Levis. That scares me. And then we got the Tennessee defense against, Michael McCorkle. Oh, my God. It's all going wrong. Okay. Who else we got up this week? Yeah, I guess technically this game is happening. And then last, certainly not least, Cup This Chubb, Megatron. Odds or the stakes are very obvious in this one. Megatron is in with a win. Cup This Chubb, right on the bubble with a win. He's projected to get more points than me, so a win you would predict he's in. I'm certainly hoping that Underdog Anchor Champ removes that dynamic from this situation, but Cup This Chubb, I need him to win, which sucks. I guess I would prefer if he wins 100-99 or something like that. But the truth is, I would like him to win comfortably. I just need myself to win even more comfortably, and we'll see how that goes. Any of them got anybody on Thursday night? No, but they do have it coming down to CeeDee Lamb on Monday Night Football and Justin Herbert on Sunday Night Football against Patrick Mahomes. Oh my gosh. What a game this could turn out to be. All right. Here are the picks of the week. I did them in MS Paint for you. Don't they look beautiful? Detroit -3 against Green Bay. The Lions kicked the snot out of Green Bay when this was in Green Bay. I don't see why it would be different at home where Detroit's been smoking everybody. Pittsburgh -6.5 versus Cleveland. This is just belief in Russell Wilson and disbelief that Jameis Winston can put up the level of offense he did against the Broncos against this Pittsburgh defense. Tampa Bay -6.5 against the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders making the long road trip out to Tampa. I like Tampa at home. Mike Evans is a little bit of a question mark in this one. I might not end up placing this if he ends up being injured, but right now, as of the time of this recording, give me Tampa with the touchdown. I'll lay it. Buffalo -3.5 at the Rams. I mean, the Rams don't really play home games. There's going to be a ton of Bills Mafia in the house. 3.5 seems like too small of a spread for this team and for Josh Allen that just seems unstoppable right now. Miami -5.5 versus New York Jets. Miami's got a good defense, and with Tua, this offense is humming. They came out real flat against Green Bay last week. I chalk that up to the cold weather where Tua has been terrible, but this is at home. I expect Miami to roll over these putrid New York Jets, but I do think this is going to be higher scoring than people expect. I was trying to get underdog to play Devontae Adams, but doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Hoping that Garrett Wilson doesn't have a big game. Cincinnati, Dallas over 49.5. Cincinnati has to win this one. Dallas wants to win this one. They just kind of want to ruin Cincinnati Bengals season, but this isn't a divisional game, so I don't think that kind of motivation plays this much into it. This is really a case of two teams that just have not looked like they want to win all season. And Cincinnati's defense in particular has just given up an ungodly amount of points that Burrow and the crew have just had to dig themselves out of every week. And while I don't know that Cooper Rush in the game can put up the level of offense needed for us to get to the 80 points that we saw in Pittsburgh, I think getting to 50 is very manageable. So I haven't done an over at all this season. Watch me lose the first one I put on the show, but I feel good about this one. Cincinnati, Dallas over 49.5 on Monday Night Football. Good Monday Night Football games the last couple weeks.